Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of Am I the Asshole? I am your host, Craig. Now, we actually have a special visitor today. I've been joined by my best friend and co-host, Chloe. Now, even though she looks dead, she's not. She just doesn't give a shit about anything. Ain't that right, Chloe? Chloe? Hey, beautiful. See, she's alive. Now, today, I think we have a pretty good one. Man, I'm not going to lie. I was doing my pretty standard, scrolling through Reddit just to see if anything caught my eye. And I found one that's kind of like a can of worms. Kind of deals with a nightmare scenario that I personally have never wanted to deal with, and thank God I haven't had to. Maybe a little bit at one time, but we'll get into that. But so for today's episode, let me go ahead and get on my old man glasses. Am I the asshole for kicking my mom out after she was awful to my wife and daughter? Uh-oh. So real quick, before we jump in, as always, if you do enjoy the episode, don't forget, like and subscribe. So let's go ahead and jump right into this one. I, a 35-year-old man, have a wonderful wife whom is 23 years old. I'm well aware of our age gap. I attended university much later due to finances, but we sat together in class and she would help me study. Neither of us had the intention of pursuing a relationship, but she invited me to her birthday party, and things eventually evolved into a relationship. And now we have a beautiful daughter who's 10 months old. Oh. My mom moved in with us about 6 months ago, around a year after our wedding. She lost her home due to some poor financial choices, and my wife suggested we turn our spare room into my mom's room. My mom had lived with us for free. My wife and I deal with all the groceries and such. Oh, okay. So not only is she living there, you're trying to hook her up a little bit. That's nice of you. About 2 weeks ago, my mother-in-law gave us a blanket she had made with our daughter's name on it. She had embroidered her name on it, and it was made with so much love. All right. This upset my mom, as she doesn't get things for our daughter, and she feels my mother-in-law is trying to become the favorite grandma. The fuck? My mom also makes no effort to be around or help with our daughter, while my mother-in-law comes over at least once a week to check on her girls and me, helps my wife with anything she needs, just all around tries to make life easier. All right. Well, just go ahead and make a quick judgment here. Your mom needs to get off her shit. My mom started making nasty comments to my wife about losing the baby weight. Oh, shit. My wife was a larger woman before our daughter and is still the most attractive woman I know. She would tell my wife not to eat or to skip meals while she's breastfeeding, and her having nutrition is a pretty important part of our daughter having nutrition. My mom began to call our daughter's name ugly, white trash. My wife is white, I'm black, and even tried to suggest we legally change her name. My daughter's name isn't a typical white name, so these comments are just to be nasty to my wife. Oh man, the plot thickens here, huh? Already, before we go any deeper, I'm sorry, this lady sounds like a bitch. I mean, I get it, she's going through a lot. She lost her house, but y'all are being really good to her for her to be like this. You've given her a place to stay for free, and here she is already calling out the mother-in-law, trying to say she's trying to be the better grandmother and shit. Come on, man. Get off the shit. So I've had several long talks with my mom about being respectful to my wife. I've made it clear I wouldn't tolerate it. She would still make sly remarks, but my wife didn't want to make a big deal out of it. 2 days ago, she took a seam ripper and took our daughter's name off of the blanket. Over the line! As I previously mentioned, it was hand embroidered, and it was very special. Man, what a bitch. What? Somebody's pride is an issue right now. Come on. My wife discovered it, brought it to me, and asked if I had any idea what could have happened. I knew it was my mom, and while she was out, I snooped through her things. Sure enough, I found the small bits of thread in her makeup bag. Bruh. Oh, so not only did she do it, she tried to hide it. She didn't just come forward I took this off. Immediately, I began packing her things and taking them outside. I texted her and told her to bring a U-Haul, as she would not be welcome back in my house or on my property after today. My siblings have been blowing up my phone, telling me I overreacted for some silly blanket. But the blanket was the final large straw for me. They think I'm an asshole, but none of them are jumping at the opportunity to let my mom live with them. So I don't know. Am I the asshole? Man. Verdict? No. No. Like, man, I understand this is a loaded subject for some people, but like, just because somebody's family, like, I'm sorry, that doesn't give them like an immediate pass on everything, like people can be family and still toxic. That's definitely a thing, which I think, especially for me coming from the South. I mean, I'm in California now, but where I come from, it's very traditional. And, there's always such an emphasis put on the family. And I get it. And I grew up that way. But, as an adult, I've realized like, family can be toxic just like anybody else. They're just people too. And first off, the family was already nice to bring her in, give her a place to stay for free, mind you. They're buying the groceries. And here she is like making sly remarks and like, accusing the other grandmother of trying to become the favorite grandmother. Like, maybe I have no place to say here, but I don't necessarily think, grandparents are always worried about competing with other grandparents. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's some crazy shit. And, for her coming at the wife, talking about losing the baby weight, even though she was already, kind of a larger lady, like I could see that kind of being an offhand way of calling the wife fat. Like, yo, I'm sorry. She's a bitch. The mom's a bitch. Did you overreact taking her stuff out? Personally, I don't think so. I mean, I've been known to maybe not have the best temper, but if he already warned her in the past and she's still doing it, she's not going to stop. But, I mean, just being honest, this is like a nightmare scenario I've never wanted to, be a part of anyway. I've never wanted to be in a situation where you have to choose between like your wife or your significant other or your mom. You know what I mean? Like, I had one ex that was apprehensive, not necessarily of my mom, but just mother-in-laws in general, just because she had bad experiences in the past. And I get that, but you got to kind of come in open-minded. And that alone, I mean, nothing ever came out of it, but that alone was like a red flag. So, I mean, to ever be in that situation where you have to choose, and especially in this type of situation where you're not only choosing, like you're straight kicking your mom out, like whether it needs to happen or not. Like, I know he feels bad about it. Like, even if he's happy to get her out of the house, like it is still his mom. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel bad for the dude. Like, kudos to him for making the decision, but damn, dude, like I know you're going through it. So shit. But I don't know. I think if anybody else has a differing opinion, let me know. I definitely want to hear y'all's opinion. If you think, maybe he took it too far, throw it in the comments. I'm really curious. I think he was in the right, but I could be wrong. So I think that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. Thank you so much for sticking around. As always, if you did enjoy the episode, don't forget, like and subscribe. Your boy still needs all the help he can get. So as always, I appreciate you sticking around. Take care of yourselves out there. And as always, peace.